Hello everyone, my name is Mehdi Kortnavasi, and this is the third movie about the chapter 3 outlining the structure of ITIL or Information Technology Infrastructure Library. In this movie, we will talk about the service operation. In the service operation stage, you coordinate and carry out the activities and processes required to deliver the services to businesses, users, and customers, and manage them at agreed levels. Service operation also covers the ongoing management of the technology used to deliver and support services. So the service operation stage is where you deliver and support your IT services. You make sure the service is working and fix it quickly when it goes wrong. The service operation stage is when you realize the strategic objectives. The processes for this stage, which mainly focuses on the delivery and support of the services in the live environment, and ensure that services are provided as agreed, are as follows. First, event management. Identifying electronic notifications that come from IT equipment and using them to ensure that the services are operating normally and responding appropriately if services are behaving abnormally. The next is incident management, managing interruptions to or reduction in the quality of the services and ensuring that the services is restored within agreed time scales. The next is request fulfillment, managing requests that come from users. These may be simple questions about how to use an application or requests for new equipment or software. The next is problem management, investigating and identifying the cause of incidents when considered necessary and recommending permanent solutions for that. The next is access management, making sure that users have usernames and passwords for the services that they are allowed to use.
Hi, I'm Mark Thomas, ITIL expert and lead ITIL trainer here at Interface Technical Training. When you went to one of our ITIL Foundation courses, you probably remember you learned basics about processes, basics about phases of the life cycle, functions, and different roles that went along with those processes. But now let's say you're at a service desk and you need to take that next step a little bit deeper into those processes so that you have the tools you need to succeed at work. You need to look at the Service Operation course. Service Operation course, or otherwise known as SO, is one of the phases of the life cycle in which we have an intermediate course for here at the Interface Technical Training. We had a student in the class here a couple of weeks ago who sat through this and said, I had no idea there was such a big difference between problem management and incident management. Those are the kinds of event management, how we couple those with processes next to each other, the inputs and outputs, and put them on top of functions like the service desk. We have one coming up here in a couple weeks, and let me tell you about it. You have consultative training where we bring experiences in from the trainers who have had real-world experiences in these processes. We use your experiences in the classroom and help you answer questions that not just focus on taking an exam, but focus on helping you really understand what you need to be able to succeed. Again, how do I manage incidents? How do I know when to escalate those incidents? What's the difference between a request and an incident? What's an SLA, and how does that SLA affect these different processes? Those are very key things that these intermediate courses help you understand. Hope to see you in that next one coming up here in a couple weeks. Thank you very much.
Operation has to typically balance a lot of conflicting priorities while trying to attain its objectives, such as the conflict of external view of IT versus an internal view of IT. What this means is managing users' experience of the services or the external view versus managing the technological components delivering that service experience or the internal view, and the conflict of stability versus response, which means that business want a faster response from IT to business changes, but IT has to balance the stability of current services while managing those changes. Or putting it in another way, how to change a service without disrupting current services. Another conflicting priority is achieving an optimal balance between cost and quality, which means IT has to continually improve services while reducing or at least by not increasing costs. Another conflicting priority service operations has to manage is that of being proactive versus being reactive. Reactive means the IT does nothing till something goes wrong. For example, not adding additional storage to the current one is continuously running at 100%, seriously impacting the performance of the service. While being proactive means continuously monitoring the storage space and adding additional storage space before the performance becomes impacted. So managing these conflicting priorities and teams and technology in service operation highlights the importance of communications. The importance of communications also lies in the fact that issues that could be between user, partners, customers, or internal teams can often be mitigated or avoided through good communication. An important principle is that all communication must have an intended purpose or a resultant action. Information should not be communicated unless there is a clear audience. In addition, that audience should have been actively involved in determining the need for that communication. Examples of communications in service operations are routine operational communication. For example, this incident ticket was resolved in time and to user satisfaction. A communication between service desk and user or technical teams. Communication between shifts. For example, shift handovers reports. Performance reporting. Communication related to emergencies. For example, outage or service downtime notification to users and customers. Training on new or customized processes and service designs.
Okay, let's talk about the next part of the life cycle, and very important part is the continual service improvement, CSI. The primary purpose of CSI, which stands for Continual Service Improvement. Of course, in case any of you were thinking along the lines of Americans rooting about at crime scenes, is to continually align and realign. Continually align and realign IT services to changing business needs by identifying and implementing improvements to IT services that support the business processes. Service management delivers value to customers in the form of services that enable them to achieve their business goals and outcomes. So CSI has to ensure that the IT service align with changing businesses' needs and continue to provide value. The activities of CSI are primarily to 1. Identify or help others identify opportunities for improvement. 2. Prioritize improvements. And 3. Set up and run or help others set up and run improvements projects. Note that CSI isn't one improvement project, but a number of initiatives or projects, each aimed at improving an aspect of IT services. CSI consists of many activities in which you analyze and report on services. In this stage, you also identify opportunities for improvement and manage a service improvement plan to implement the improvement. ITIL refers to only one set of activities as a process, the 7-step process and approach of measuring a service or service management process, analyzing information and data about the service or process, and acting on the result. Let's talk about applying the service life cycle to IT projects. The previous section introduced you to the ITIL service life cycle. I also mentioned that the service life cycle can be depicted in a number of ways. Another way is to relate the life cycle to someone or something you're familiar with. An IT development project. This picture provides a rough overview of a typical IT development project and how it relates to the service life cycle stages. Let's start as a service strategy and the business case. The next level service design according to the strategy, requirements and design. And the next level is the service transition, including build, test, and implement the service. And the next stage, service operation, is delivering and supporting the service. And then improve or continual service improvement. Again, back to the service strategy and design for the change of the business needs and continue again. Here is a brief description of each activity of a typical project and its relation to the service life cycle. Business case and project initiation. You use a business case to justify the cost and effort involved in providing the new service or changing an existing service. The business case trigger the project initiation. These activities happen at the service strategy stage. Next stage is requirements gathering and analysis. You identify and analyze the detailed requirements of the service or change. These activities happen in the service design stage. And the design stage, you produce a design of the service that meets the requirements. This is usually a paper-based design at this point. And The next is to build the physical bit where you acquire the solution, such as building the hardware, the servers and networks, or programming the software application. And the next is the test stage. Testing is important. Testing the service is essential to ensure it meets the needs of the business, works in the way you expected, and can be supported. And the next is implement or deploy, launching the new or changed service into the live operational environment. And deliver and support. The service is now in the live or production environment and is being used by the users. The IT organization must make sure the service is working and fix it quickly when it goes wrong and improve. After a service has been operated for some time, it's often possible to optimize or improve the way it's delivered.
Continual service improvement. There are 6 steps involved in continual service improvement. Step 1. What is the vision? As an organization, the vision tells you where you would like to be. This includes all business missions, goals, and objectives. The ID strategy should be in line with the vision of the business, and if not, a change should be introduced. Step 2. Where are we now? The second step is to assess the current situation of the business. Without realizing the current position of the business pertaining to its assets, organizations cannot make appropriate decisions to move ahead. 3. Where do we want to be? The third step is to understand the improvements that are required within an organization and agree to them. In this step, an organization needs to determine and focus on its measurable targets. Step 4. How do we get there? The fourth step is to create a detailed CSI plan that provides explanations of the various improvements that are to be made into the business environment. Step 5. Did we get there? The fifth step is to verify whether the measurements and metrics are in place or not. These help in confirming whether the goals of a business organization have been successfully met. 6. How do we keep the momentum going? The sixth step of the CSI model is to ensure that there has been an improvement in quality. The CSI model works in a loop, so after this step, the cycle begins again.
Okay, thank you for watching this movie, and in the next movie I will explain about who actually carries out ITIL activities or understanding the functions. Thank you.